Good afternoon and welcome to this very first session of our vertical AI workshops and sessions to introduce the use of AI within the audiovisual ecosystem. So we are here today thanks to the collaboration even of Creative Europe Media and thanks to Maria Cristina Lacagnina, who is there, and I invite her to join me because we would like to explain the path till here. This session is part of Innovation for Creative Industries program of MIA, and this year we choose to be very focused on a hands-on program. And today we will have two of the protagonists of the workshops that will be starting tomorrow, which are from Largo.ai and are Sami, Arpa and Celine Udriot, with whom you will discover the power of the use of AI and what is the use case that can be adapted to your work. So I'll leave the stage to Maria Cristina Lacagnina from Creative Europe Media Desk Italy for a brief introduction.
Thank you, Gaia, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Maria Cristina Lacagnina. I'm happy to be here on behalf of the Creative Europe Media Desk Italy. Just a couple of words on our desk. In Italy, we have 3 media offices in Rome, Turin, and Bari, all coordinated by Cinecittà. Here at MIA, there are also my colleagues from Turin, Silvia Sandrone, Sara Bellinazzi, and Francesca Messina. And we provide free assistance and information on the different funding opportunities of the media program. We are very glad to have collaborated with MIA in shaping these workshops curated by Largo.ai. Thank you, Guy, again for involving us. The idea behind these initiatives is simple: to give you a practical and operational perspective on the use of AI, especially when it comes to the main stages of production. Indeed, as you probably know, the digital transformation of the sector and the use of new technologies are priorities of the media program and are becoming more and more important every year. They are now at the heart of many different media funding schemes. That's why these workshops will focus on 3 areas we consider the most relevant for the media calls: development, production, and audience engagement. So thanks to Largo.ai, we will see how the artificial intelligence can support the creation of strong narrative content, while also providing concrete tools to better reach audiences, to strengthen marketing and distribution strategies, and to improve in this way the market potential of projects. We hope this will be a useful experience for you. And one last important thing, at the end of this session, you are all invited to join us for a coffee with the media on the Barberini terrace. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria Cristina. As a reminder, the workshops in total are 5, so 3 of them will be hosted by Sami and Celine, but there are 2 more sessions, workshops, focusing the 4th one on blockchain and AI, and the last one will be on post-production and AI, so VFX and all the part related to the final steps of production. So we are super happy to have Sami and Celine here. Please welcome on stage.
Welcome, everybody. Firstly, thank you, Gaia, Mia, for organizing this event, and thank you, Creative Europe Media Desk Italy, Maria, for giving that opportunity both to us to present and also participants to learn more about potential applications of AI. So today we will give a general overview, and as Gaia mentioned, we will have 3 workshops to go more specific. three steps like pre-production, development, production, and distribution parts together with Celine. So let me start my presentation. As I mentioned, today will be like a general overview and introduction, and also touch a bit potential discussion points. So here you see 5 different movies, 5 very popular movies, and very different genres. Who has watched all 5 movies? Could you please raise your hand if you have watched all of these 5 movies? Okay, yeah, almost everybody. That's great. But we have animation, sci-fi, drama, romance, all genre of films. So these films are very different, but from one side they are very same. If we look at their storytelling structure, they are all fitting perfectly to Save the Cat Beat Sheet structure. That we have 3-act structures with 15 important story points. So we have time to time audience complaint about the stories. The films are getting similar, more same. We hear this a lot time to time for the Netflix content or franchise content coming from Hollywood. That's a bit of complaint of audience. So that kind of sameness is already a bit of fear. Now with the arrival of the AI, that fear has increased significantly. Now many people are telling with the AI tools, we will have much more of this sameness, and we will lose a bit this creative aspect of film industry. So we will touch a bit to that point with different examples. But let me ask you another question. So here we have another set of 5 movies. Did anybody watch any of those movies? Okay, nobody. Which is great, because those movies have never been produced.
I was planning, maybe there are some liars, but no, they're honest, it's good.
Okay, so here's the story about those films. So we had a workshop, 2 days workshop in Portugal, and the idea of that workshop was using AI tools in an accelerated manner and creating some concept movies. So we had 20 people, all film professionals, producers, directors, writers. We put them in 5 different groups, and they work completely independently. So they started to write a treatment by using ChatGPT. They developed the idea, and eventually they also started to use text-to-video, text-to-image tools. They created the posters and even some trailers. And eventually, if you look at the posters, they ended up with the same movie, all of them. So, woman-led sci-fi movie in a dystopian environment. So, and that was like a 2 days process, as I mentioned, and it actually a bit echoes that fear of creating sameness with the AI. So here, I think one thing to realize. So we put them in an environment of the speed, like creating that content, that movie idea just within 2 days. Basically, approaching AI as like a magic wand, just trying to create the material with a few commands, and in general, what you end up is the average idea, average content, the popular content of that time. So yeah, I mean that's like one of an important learning, and also one of the strong message that we want to give also during our workshop, not approaching AI as a magic wand, because what we will end up the same stories eventually. And here there is actually one statistics we want to share, which might be associated with that. You see AI adoption, the change of AI adoption in media industry on the solid line, and it increases significantly, especially after the release of ChatGPT. Our vertical axis, the years are not looking correctly aligned, but yeah, that increase is happening after the release of ChatGPT. You see a bit of drop. That is when the strikes were happening in Hollywood. We have a bit drop, but again, this adoption continues to increase. Parallel to that, we have also increase in the amount of content. This is the dashed line. So as the adoption of AI increases, the number of content going to distributed to audience is also increasing. So that means we will have a content inflation. There will be a lot of content and potentially this sameness impact because many more people can generate content by using these tools, and many of them will be noise eventually. So in that manner, so we have like many stakeholders in film industry. So many of them are having an impact on the final cut of the movie. Then the question will be how much AI, data AI tools will be impacting the final cut. So we have made a recent survey with people from our network, from film industry. But I can ask here as well. So who thinks the producers are having the most impact in final cut? Could you please raise your hand, producers? A few people, distributors, directors. Okay, actors. Okay, I see the most hands for maybe directors. Maybe it's scriptwriters finally. Okay, so here you can see the survey results that we did with almost 2,000 people from film industry. We see that most of people actually voted for producers, not with huge difference, but 25%, distributors 20%, 15% screenwriters, director. That was a mix of Europe, US, by the way. It was not only Europe, just to mention, yeah. But algorithms, yeah, is still very small, like at 10%. Yeah, but I mean, we also like in the secondary questions, we saw like many people are thinking there will be more impact of the AI algorithms and data along with other people. So here we did also another analysis. So we have machine learning models many years that are learning from the past data. With past data, I mean like the films that have been released in the past. So this is like a few 100,000 movies. That includes both feature films, TV series, and here we make the machine to learn which element of a movie impacts the financial success, or like we can tell like audience success. So and then we can measure the correlations. We can see budget and P&A are two elements are having most correlations. In that manner, it is a bit aligned with that survey because budget and P&A are controlled by producers and distributors. Then yeah, we have content, casting, screenwriter as like some of most important elements. There are over 100 elements, by the way, just like these are already most important elements. So this doesn't make the screenwriter, director, content less important. Just the impact of budget and P&A are higher than the other elements. But again, one thing to emphasize over here, budget having high correlation doesn't mean that the budget should be high. It means the budget should be correct. Because for certain type of content, if the budget is way too much, it becomes very difficult to make the movie positive ROI. Okay, so here we can look at the evolution of AI in film industry. We can see three important eras. The first important usage is starting with the recommendation systems. And this is led by Netflix and Amazon. So their strategy at this starting from 2005-6, their strategy was collecting as many content as possible, and also as big as possible audience, then matching these two. Because if you have like a larger pool of content, larger pool of audience, you give good data to AI systems to learn both movies and also audience and match the right movie with the right content. But after a certain time, after the audience has grown to a certain level, they start to change this original content strategy. Because if you already know the audience very well, you don't need to collect whole catalog. Instead, you can already produce the content that you know that will work. That brings the usage of AI a bit earlier stages. Then with smaller catalog that you can have much higher impact. So that we see like start of that around 2013. And then so towards end of this period, we were also seeing a bit problem as Largo that we started in 2018. We saw Netflix and Amazon are using data and AI really significantly. The rest of industry was very traditional and they didn't have access to those kind of tools. We saw that there will be a change as those platforms are also getting very big dominance in the industry. And that was our motivation to launch Largo.ai, to open such data and forecasts to the rest of the industry as well. And with that, our goal was not to introduce that to studios, like big production companies, but also independent producers as well. Because that's also one advantage of like having access easily today to AI data tools. That gives much more opportunity to independent producers as well, and also European producers. So with the ChatGPT release, that part has accelerated significantly because adoption has increased. Once we launched Largo.ai, like the platform version in 2020, there were a quite significant part of industry who were quite skeptical about AI tools. I think adoption, we were measuring around 1-2%, like 1-2% of industry were using AI tools in their production pipeline. Now we are measuring this almost like at 30%. But that acceleration happened significantly with ChatGPT release. So once we speak about AI, we should have these two categories of type of AI, let's say. We have predictive AI in cinema and generative AI in the cinema. Predictive AI part might look a bit more peaceful because it's not very disruptive. The idea of predictive AI is using the past data, learning from past data, and providing still same stakeholders some insights to make just the things better, faster. That's the idea. So it's not disrupting any job. It's not disrupting the workflow. Yeah, it just provides more insights. And with that, we use like traditional machine learning models. And second category is generative AI in the cinema. So that part is disruptive because it starts to play with the creative part as well. Because by using generative AI, we can generate content. Now we can generate even the visuals. So that brings disruption. That's also the part creating a bit of fear in the industry. So we need to learn how to use that part. We will speak about both parts in our presentation. In Largo.ai, we started strongly with the predictive AI part, just to learning from past data, provide insights for the future. We now use a lot generative AI part as well. But again, in the core, we are keeping the original content in the center. Even with generative AI, we try to provide insights that still empowers the people in the industry rather than replacing them. Okay, so here we can put, if you look at the 4 main category of film production, we can see some applications already for each category. For development and pre-production, we focus a lot to that part with Largo.ai, that you'll see some examples on that with Celine in a bit. But here, yeah, I mean, we can do like script analysis with generative AI tools. You can do also script development, forecasting, understanding the audience really at earlier stages is much simpler and much more accurate now with AI tools. You can do casting. Casting can be done much simpler way. Budget scheduling, you can do all those for pre-production stage with different tools and some of Largo.ai tools as well. Production part. So production part, yeah, that's also one part that can be disrupted significantly. Especially, yeah, I mean, like this text-to-video things might look a bit scary. They are still not there. You will see some examples in our second workshop as well. But the level of progress is incredible just in 2 years. I think recently also Sora 2 was released. I didn't have a chance to try, but they, from the references I see, they tell it's really good, like VO3. But here, if you see there's some real applications, so virtual production is not directly AI application, but virtual production is now much better than past because of actually AI support. Same way like a smart and robotic cameras. I mean, these are really, you can get like very interesting shots that you cannot do with the traditional approaches. Script continuity, there is script continuity applications, virtual set compositing, there is really interesting applications over there. Again, location scouting, concept testing, this can be done with some of AI tools as well. Yeah, in post-production for most of main workflows, I mean, like we don't have replacement, but we have acceleration for editing automation, VFX acceleration, sound design, and dubbing localization. We can see a lot of applications on that part, which we can see already in many movies. And finally, distribution and marketing, which is a part that we focus a lot as well. And we will see some examples for that part, especially in our third workshop. Audience design, focus group tests. So here we have examples of simulated focus groups. Celine will mention a bit. And yeah, financial forecasts, P&A analysis, AI-driven marketing. That creates a lot of opportunity, especially for European cinema, because I mean we work with both in US in studios a lot, and also a lot of production companies here in Europe. We can see how studios are doing many testing at earlier stages. They have really strong idea about their content from earlier stages, but I mean that tools are not used at all in European cinema because it's really expensive, especially focus group tests, for example. You can do already on the concept level. But now with AI tools, you can have like a similar level testing already at earlier stages. That will really change the movie ecosystem in the coming years. Okay, so yeah, I mean, we will go to, yeah, especially first, second, and fourth one that we will go to more into detail in our workshops. Now, yeah, I will have like an iconic movie scene. So let's watch that one.
Here's Johnny.
Okay, Celine, why did we watch that scene?
To wake people up a bit? No. No, so here, yeah, let's look at a bit concrete example. Thank you, Sami. Well, let me ask you first a question before we go into concrete example. Very basic question first. Who in this room is using AI? Wow. Not you? No? Yes? Almost 100%. But who using AI for more than 1-2 years? Already much less. It validates our statistics. And now who is using AI that is not ChatGPT? Ah, still? Okay, good. Yeah, maybe 40%. So here we will look at examples a bit more in concrete, how we can use AI, not only ChatGPT, but also at like pre-production level as well. Let's imagine that we are the producer of The Shining. We'll make a lot of money, I promise. So here, how can we understand how the movie is structured, how the audience will react to that movie before producing it. So if we take the example of The Shining, here let's imagine that we are at script level. So we put the script on our platform, for example, not to mention Largo.ai. And we analyze here two things. On the first graph above, it shows how the different genres are evolving from the start to the end of the story. And you see here on this specific scene, we see a lot of peaks and valleys. And this scene is really one of the highest peak of the genre, a lot of crime or thriller. So we understand before watching the movie that there's something really strong happening here. And we can correlate that also with the second graph below. It's the emotions that the audience will feel all along the story. So in blue colors is positive emotions, in brown colors is negative emotions. And we see one of the highest peak of fear also is really during this scene. So it tells us already what's the dynamic, what's the audience feeling about that project that we are doing. Just to compare also to really understand this type of genre graphs, here we take 3 examples of TV series. We have Ted Lasso, The Office, and Game of Thrones, which are 3 different TV series. But if we want to understand a bit their dynamic, the first graph of Ted Lasso, we see this comedy element, very stable, very present all along the story. For The Office as well, a lot of comedy all along the story, but at the end, by the way, this is just one episode. At the end, we see a lot of crime and thriller together with comedy, and that represents the satiric element of the comedy. So this is 2 different types of comedy. And the third one, so Game of Thrones, very stable as well, with this fantasy element present all along the story. So if we look only at that, we might be thinking, okay, maybe Game of Thrones is boring because it's very flat, right? But I don't think it is. If we look at the audience emotions, for the first 2, we see the blue color very dominant, very lighthearted, funny, that very positive emotions. But if we look at Game of Thrones, there's a lot of emotions variation, a lot of more negative emotions, fear or sadness even. So that keeps really the audience very engaged, and that's also important. Okay, so that was one part to understand a bit the structure of the movie or TV series. And now if we look at financial forecast, because we like to make money when we do films sometimes. So here we predict 2 things, either box office forecast in domestic or international release, most expected money that we'll make. But in this example, this is streaming forecast, which is quite new also on the market. This is not something super easy to understand. There's a lot of secrets around the streamers. Most of the time we don't know their number, we don't know how much they will buy our content or how much we can ask for the content. So that's why we have found a method to calculate what is the number of households that will watch our content in the different countries, but also what is the fair value that we can ask to Netflix or Amazon to buy this content. And no surprise, I can tell they are paying a bit less than what is the fair value if we calculate really how much they should pay, given that 50% of the money goes to the content holder. So here it gives a lot of negotiating power, not only to studios, but also independent productions, when you go sit on the table and then negotiate with the price that you can sell your content. So it gives a bit less monopoly to certain streamers. Okay, so that was mostly based on predictive AI that Sami was mentioning before. Now we look at generative AI. So I don't know, from the room, is there anyone doing focus group to test content? No, yeah. So no studios in the room? That's what I thought, yeah. The thing is that focus group is very expensive. And this is only mostly studios using focus group, so taking a panel of people to ask their opinion for a content. And the thing is, with that process, it's not only costly, but it's also very long to organize. You don't know, like, if people will get influenced by the moderator, or even if they are hungry, maybe they can be in a different mindset. And also, there's a lot of bias. There's also confidentiality problem. Maybe you don't want to show specific content to real people before it's released, because what if there's a leak? That'll be a big problem. And yeah, again, it's very costly and consuming in time. So we have found a method to replicate that focus group using simulated audience. And we call them the digital twin. So our digital twin, we say they do not get hungry, they do not get angry, so it's much more reliable in terms of the opinion. And also you can do quantitative surveys, qualitative surveys. You can select whatever country, whatever demographics you want to test, super easy. You show the content, and then you get the results 10 times faster and 10 times cheaper than traditional methods. So not only studio can use, but also independent or smaller production companies can use that method as well. But now you might question, like, how do we do to create this digital twin? What's your name, for example? Aman. So we take Aman. You're a real person, right? You're not... We never know with avatars now. So we take you, Aman, as real person. You will go through a questioning, so a surveying process. We ask you a lot of questions about your background, what you like, you don't like. And then we will create your digital twin. So once we have a digital Aman, we can ask her whatever we want, but we don't need Aman in person in that room. So that means we can ask you to get feedback very, very fast. And we pay you just one time, so that's good for us. So from that, also, how do we make sure that it's accurate? So how do we make sure that the digital Aman is responding the same as the real Aman? So we have a second test. Once we have created this digital population, we do again a survey with the real person and the digital twin. And if it's not more than 90% correlation, we don't select a person for the panel. So we kill the digital twin, not the real person. Hopefully. Okay. So concrete example, how does it work? Again, same process, put your script or treatment. It can be super early stage and doesn't need to be finished. You select your audience, and then, so you see here, this is the simulated audience, the digital army of twins. So the pictures and names have been generated by AI just for anonymous purposes. But then this is really coming from real people initially. And from that, you will show your content one by one to these people. And then you will get 2 scores. One quantitative, so how much they like your content. And then you can select comparable, so how much they like your content compared to other similar content. And also quantitative, so why they liked or why they didn't like. And you can ask any question, really any question you want, like how did you find the ending, or how did you like the relationship between the father and the son, really anything. And from one side, you can also create micro audiences that we call. Let's imagine we want to test the content for people living in Rome that are 50 plus years old and who likes to do yoga every Thursday. Okay, it's very specific. So this is very difficult to find in real life as well, but you can really create this micro audience and test this content to that specific audience. And then if you don't know who is your audience, you can also select the general demographic of a country, and then you see like who is more likely to like your content. Is it more male, female, different age groups? What's their interest, if they like football or whatever. So it gives you really good insights. And last thing, we have released that really not long ago. You can also chat with the digital twin on the platform. So one by one, you can ask the questions really like, I don't know, how many times you go to cinema, or how did you find the main character? Did you relate to that? You can really ask and chat with these people, and they respond to you very fast. It's pretty crazy. We can try to flirt also with the characters to see if they respond, and they really respond. So it's, yeah, don't get too much attached to them though. Okay, so just to conclude also on that, to give you a bit more hard data or statistics, we have tried many things to create this simulated persona, to really reach a good level of correlation with real people and simulated people. And you may hear also on the market synthetic audiences that starts to appear. So I'll just explain a bit the difference. Here we have real people, simulated people, or synthetic people. So real people, well, it's real people. Synthetic, we don't take real people, we just simulate, we create fully from computer a persona. So fully 100% created with AI. And then simulated, we take the real people and then they go through the surveying process and we create their digital twin. So what's the accuracy? So we have taken different movies and compare what's the response from real, simulated, and synthetic. We see synthetic data, it's really good to understand the general trend of the audience, or understand a bit really general opinion, but it's still around 70-80% close to reality. So it's not perfect, but it's good to capture really initial trend. And then simulated people, it's 90% and plus, close to reality. So it's very accurate.
You were first simulated person, Celine. Maybe you can mention
Yes.
about your own simulation. Yeah, because once we first got this idea a few years ago, we really first simulated Celine, because many people know how she behaves in the office. She knows herself as well. We were really impressed how that digital twin was behaving like Celine once we were speaking with her. We got first approval from her, so yeah.
Yeah, I was actually trying to kill a bit the idea, but say, there's no way. Anyway, AI cannot understand me. How can it know? I do so many things on the side and my leisure, my hobbies, activity. It was crazy, really. It was really close to reality, how the AI responded after simulation process. I was like, okay, yeah, maybe there's something to do over here. So yeah, I can confirm that works. So all this, to conclude, is AI, if we use AI, are we all gonna make the same movies? Maybe not, maybe yes. I'll let Sami maybe conclude on that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Celine. Yeah, we come to the point we started. You remember my example of these 5 movies that we had. Movie professionals in 2 days worked independently. They ended up with the same movies. Now, yeah, we showed some example with Largo.ai. That's just more taking the original content in the center, but we have many tools now. Of course, it's very normal that we think that algorithms are taking too much role in that, and then we might have this sameness. If we use AI like a magic wand, for sure we will have this sameness. But again, the question comes to the following. Is the audience going to accept the sameness? or are the festivals going to accept that sameness? Probably our answer is clearly no, because the sameness, maybe it will bring the bar to another level. So many people are using AI tools. The ones who are using it like a magic wand that just gets some like a AI average content, that will give much more opportunities for people who are skilled in the creative side to go above the sameness. So you will still need the people, even with the AI tools, to go above the sameness. And regular people or like average people will use the AI like a magic wand to get the average tool. So yeah, we think a clockwork cinema wouldn't be possible. Thank you. And I think we have like a 10 minutes still. If there are any questions, we can reply.
Okay. We have the light in the eyes, but I think there's someone waving. Yes.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Which kind of contact there is between a real person and a digital twin? Which kind of contract there is between a real person and a digital twin to let you create a digital twin?
The content, yeah. So here,
Contract.
a contract, yeah.
What do you sign to release a digital twin from?
Yeah, this
from a
is
real
similar
people?
to regular, because in focus group tests as well, you use these panel aggregators who are providing you the people over there. Like we are providing some form that to answer like this 100-question survey and then to create their digital twin. But again, one thing to mention that here, it's not like that we are having the same person identity continuing over there. They just answer these 100 questions that gives us like a data to create a new computer person, because that person is having a different name, a different title. Okay. And yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just a bit of numbers. From when you guys started using predictive AI a couple of years ago, if I understood correctly, what kind of result do you notice in the inside the results?
In the accuracy, you mean, or forecast, or?
Forecast,
Yeah.
yes. Like how much the forecast respected what you guys notice in the data?
Yeah. So when we take the green lighting accuracy, we are 80% accuracy. Yeah, it's still more than industry average. So yeah, of course you cannot predict 100%. You never know, especially with using only predictive AI. It's difficult to know, the outliers, very out-of-box films like, I don't know, or even Barbie or Oppenheimer. They were such big hits. If you look only at past data, it's very difficult. But now if you ask the simulated focus group, it becomes very easy, because it's really on real time that you see how the audience will like. So not only looking at what has been done in the past.
Yeah. So did you guys also compare with previous already already made movies to compare the data, and it was about...
Yeah, around 80% in the financial. Yeah, exactly.
Hello. I want to know what kind of work do you do in order to develop this simulation of this digital twin? What kind of work?
Well, I mean, the work, of course, we need real people to get the data, but then this data goes to our models, which is like behavioring modeling tools, that is learning again from past people's data. So the focus of the models is basically getting as minimum as possible data from people to reflect their behavior. And at this moment, like that's happening with the 100 questions. And these 100 questions are like a general questions about their life story, what was the most traumatic moment of their life, what they like, what they don't like. And those becomes a base to model their behavior.
And Sami is coding all night, by the way, every night.
No, she's lying. Last time I coded was 10 years ago. But we have a good team. We are spin-off university at EPFL. That's like one of the leading AI university in the world. So we have like a really strong research team behind that. The co-founder of company, Professor Sabine Strunk, is like one of the leading scientists in the field. So we are really getting like a big part of research from that lab.
Very short question and easy. What kind of client do you have?
Oh, we have many different clients. So from the film side, we work with more than 600, almost 700 production companies. 50% in US, 50% in Europe, and it ranges from studios to independent producers. But mostly, majority is still small to medium-sized production companies. Yeah, production companies, and we have also from the brand side. So we do the same to pre-test advertisement campaigns. We also work with brands like Mars or Turkish Airlines. So really different types of industry.
For smallers, we have this conditional fee model that in that model, like a big part of money that you pay only after if one of your film got green lighting. So that gives actually a good advantage for small ones that you don't pay a big part of money. And it's not project based; it's always subscription because we only prefer to give like a long-term service. Getting one-time analysis results, it doesn't mean anything because you change your costs, your story, or even like you go with another distributor, it changes the whole story. So it requires like continuous testing.
What's the ballpark subscription?
Well, like, okay, like really the smallest is like it becomes like 100 for like down payment is like 100 a month, right? Like smallest, yeah.
99, it's psychological.
I actually wanted to ask, do you think that it could actually boost the creativity in a sense that, like nowadays, like especially like mainstream cinema, you can see that producers don't want to risk. So there were like remakes and like many stories based on like old ideas. But now when you can actually create these focus groups and see and test the new ideas, like could it change actually the direction where the cinema is going? Because you can actually see if the production will be successful or no, like without risking.
I mean, we have like a good amount of independent producers who are producing art house films in our customer portfolio, and then many of them like this, like the primary worry is not the audience. So here I think AI tools you can use for any purposes because it's Celine showed that we have like many tools just for the creative part insights. So I don't think this balance will change because it's about like what audience festivals wants and what people wants to create. Just AI is eventually a tool we cannot change because end part is the same. End part we still have festivals, we have still audience. Eventually what we will create will be just based on that and just with the different tools.
In that the AI programs are going to be advanced enough in order that you can make a complete movie just by giving prompts and correcting and iterating.
I have not yet seen Sora 2. Anybody tried Sora 2? Maybe you can give some feedback.
You can do that now. I mean, with a lot of fiddling, but we're not there yet.
Yeah. But I have not yet tried Sora 2. VO3 I tried actually in our workshop. We have examples as well, which was already huge progress, but that's happening in 1-2 years. I hear Sora 2 is also close to VO3, that because you have both sound effect, and like a much more realistic physics. Our guess is like in 2-3 years, probably that we will have like a really text to video that can be directly composited to the films. Yeah, because the investment is big, all companies are competing for that. That's game changer. But of course, that doesn't mean, just to add one thing, again, we come to audience part. That doesn't mean once we are there that simply everybody will replace their way of video production to that. The question will be about if the audience is appreciating that kind of result. Probably not, but we'll see that.
Sorry, hello? I have a question related, I'm here. I have a question related to the ingestion of content. So you train the model with known particular movies. You have a contract, I think, right? But a lot of other content, it comes from the end user, perhaps who wants to really exchange, for example, I don't know, maybe a scene, and he uploads a scene, and that content goes inside engine in order to, how do we say, really give also content to the engine. So what is your policy for this point?
Yeah, we don't use our customers' content to train the model for two reasons. First, we don't want to go into that direction, take risk of content, IP. And second, it will be too small data anyway from our model, because we have like so much data already in the system. Everything that has been done in the past, all publicly available content is already there to train the platform. So we don't take at all the content of the customers that put on the platform to train the model. It's fully separated.
So do you treat also with contracts? So, for example, there are companies who are giving you material or something like this. There is the possibility, the chance to give you, for example, material, and you will trade this material to train the engine.
As a policy, I mean, like, we don't use that type of content. Except like on advertisement side, sometimes we have big brands, they want to use their own data for specific training. On film side, yeah, we don't, as Celine mentioned, as a policy, we don't use the data ingested by our clients to our platform.
Okay, but from where does it come?
Our data is public data. I mean, like, we are using in general like publicly available film data. Like, just to give a summary, like a big data source is like Wikipedia film summaries. Okay, like this kind of content, like with under public license.
Okay, last question. You spoke about the cost of the engine. It's about €99 per month.
Yeah, that's like a starting model, but yeah, we have like a different models depending on usage.
It's based on credit. When you finish credit, you have to rebuy it, or
it's subscription. It's just subscription.
So it's free. Once you pay the subscription, there are not credits you want.
There are like different quotas. Yeah, we can send. Okay. You can directly see on our system. Like here, but yeah, there are.
Okay,
quotas.
Thank you.
Hi. Have you been approached by a national or international film fund or film festival? First question. And second question, when we wanna test or have a script analysis and use digital twins, does a digital twin have a creative agency? Meaning, can we ask a digital twin what kind of solution can he or she give to our script problems, or how does it work?
So I know I have 1 minute left. I'll be quick. So to answer your first question, yes, we also work with film funds to analyze on the process. For example, if they receive a lot of films at the same time, then to have an overview on which movie is what and what's the financial forecast or this, or distributors as well, financiers. And film festival, yeah, we have partnership also mainly with like Cannes Film Festival, American Film Market, or Berlinale. We organize pitch event for our clients. They pitch on stage their project, and then in front of investors or distributors, then we try to connect them with them. And your second question was, yes, for your simulated focus group, you can design a micro audience. So you say, okay, I want my audience to be only people from creative agencies. this is totally possible. So you can really select a panel of experts to answer your questions.
I think we need to finish, probably.
Yeah.
But we can maybe answer after the conference. I mean, we have 2 patents for our own models, but yeah, we have used some third-party open source LLMs as well recently. Yeah. For some parts, yes, but we have our own models as well. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. See you later in the workshops, maybe.